What is it like being a Jamaican in Venezuela? Hi, I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com, and today in Jamaicans to the World, I talk to Janet Crick, a Jamaican who lived in Venezuela. Welcome, Janet. How are you?
I am great. Thank you very much for having me, Xavier.
Thank you for joining. As many of you know, Venezuela is a different place today. Janet lived there many years ago, and I've been hunting to talk to a Jamaican a little bit about everything there. So she's well traveled. She's no longer in Venezuela, but she lived there, and that is the key thing. So, Janet, first thing, which part of Jamaica are you from?
I am a Kingstonian. I would say born and bred, but not quite bred. I was born in Kingston, but I actually grew up in Montego Bay.
Okay.
And I did not return to Kingston to live until I hit university age. And then since then, I've been living in Kingston, but still have my connections down in the West. Yes.
All right. So, which school are you representing?
Ooh, with schools.
Okay.
I can start if we want to all go all the way back to prep school. I was St. James Prep School, then Montego Bay High School for girls, and then
Okay.
Hampton High School for girls.
Oh,
Yes,
I have some good Hampton friends here. In fact, we recently they had a fundraiser for the Black River Hospital,
yes. I
and
know.
and so I did a little walk as a part of that. So,
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. So you're bona fide now. All right.
so talk to us about Venezuela. What took you to Venezuela?
Well, at the time, I worked with the Jamaican Foreign Service. So I was actually posted to the Jamaican Embassy in Caracas for four
Okay,
years.
okay.
So that's how I jumped in. Yes. Actually, I think I've only been back once since my tour of duty there. Yes.
Oh, nice, nice. So again, we know the place has changed a little, but I always said this: people don't change, food don't change, and attractions and things like that stay the same. So tell us a little bit about your experience with the people there. What are the people in Venezuela like?
There's one simple word that I could use to explain it. The Venezuelans are chévere. Muy chévere. And that's a
Okay,
Venezuelan word, which, like how the Jamaican word Irie, you can't quite find an exact meaning for it. That's
right.
the word chévere. But it really means they're just Irie, cool, very happy, um, very easygoing, laid back, festive people. Yeah. So you use the word chévere for a number of things. If somebody asks you how you are, just the same way we'd say I'm Ari, they say I'm chévere. So they're very cool, nice set of people, very friendly. And
Nice.
yeah, I quite enjoyed being there. I had a few Venezuelan friends. Not all of them still live in Venezuela, but I do keep in touch. Yes.
So when they learn that you are Jamaican, what do the Venezuelans say?
Um, I get this reaction all around the world whenever and I'm sure you've had it too, Xavier. Whenever you say you're from Jamaica, it's like the most exciting, exotic thing, And I probably get something like, "Ay, qué linda! Ay, Jamaica!" There's always this joy because people really, really think of Jamaica as this exotic place, really special, and of course we are. So, yeah, I always got a very positive reaction when I said I was from Jamaica, and of
So
course people always want to go. That's always the next statement. I really want to go to Jamaica. Yeah.
now I know, and I know we're talking about Jamaica, we talk about Venezuela, but Trinidad is close by,
It
right?
is. Yes, yes.
So if they wanted I mean, they're not a part of the Caribbean, are they? Right? So
Well,
they,
not a part of the English speaking Caribbean, or not part of
okay,
CARICOM. So,
okay.
but yeah, but they are very close to Trinidad, as you said. So you will find a number of Venezuelans who live in Trinidad and Tobago or have close connections with Trinidad and Tobago. As a matter of fact, a member of staff, one of our parents was from Trinidad, and that was quite common because of the
Okay.
proximity. Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
Food. Let's talk food. Venezuelan food. You already listen. You already pique us because it seemed like you're into the language and the local. Is it Sheva? Sheva? What's the word again?
Chévere, chévere, chévere.
Chevare.
Sí. Mhm. Chévere.
Chevare. All right.
Mhm.
You already give us a little taste of the language thing. You know, it sounds like you may be a connoisseur of the food. So tell us a little bit about Venezuelan food and
Oh,
what would you recommend?
um, I first of all recommend arepas. So the easiest way to explain arepas, so the easiest comparison would be Jamaican fried dumpling. So just the same way we have our fried dumpling in the morning, and we like to pair it with fish or some kind of meat. The arepas is something similar, but it's not made from
Okay.
flour. It's made from a special type of grain, and
Mm,
they fry the arepas, and it's just delightful. You just pair it with some kind of stripped meat or that sort of thing. I rather liked Venezuelan food. It's been so long now that it's actually hard to remember some of the dishes, and I've been a
right.
little girl, so I don't I
Right.
haven't actually cooked them or recreated them in my own kitchen. But I
All
can
right.
tell you one that I definitely remember apart from the arepas, and those
Uh-huh.
are the ayacas. Now,
Ayacas.
yes, that was eaten at Christmas time. And you mentioned Trinidad earlier on. So, any Trinidadians on the call or people who have a connection with Trinidad would know about pastels. For us, the closest thing would be the taya leaf because it's literally done in a banana leaf, similar to what we
Mm,
do. But whereas our taya leaf, or dokunu as we call it, is
blue
sweet
jaws.
like bluegrass. Thank you. Mhm. Whereas ours are sweet, the ayacas are savory, similar to Trinidad. So it's a lot of meats and olives and that sort of thing. And I can tell you the beautiful thing about the ayacas is that it is a whole process. You don't just whip it up in your kitchen in half an hour. It's like days long of cooking the meats and stewing down things and then wrapping it in the banana leaf and so on. So when you get that final product, or
Right.
you can taste the love. And everybody's ayaka is slightly different, so you can have fun comparing this person's ayaka with the other one. Of course, you never tell them I liked yours better than hers or hers better than yours, but no, because you want them all. But yeah, that was I loved that time of year, really, really.
It
Mhm.
it sounds like the preparation we do sometimes when some of us are doing our jerk chicken and our jerk pork or
Yes, yes.
season up 2 day the curry goat
Yes,
2 day
and that's fine.
before.
Oh, the curry goat, yeah, yeah, yeah.
So have you cooked any Jamaican food for your Venezuelan friends when you were there?
I believe I would have. Yeah, we used to fet all the time. We used to party all the time. So yes, little cooking did have to go on. Yes.
So music there then, and again, you already saw like you're into the culture there. Music, dancing, and fetting, like you said. So
Yeah.
is it bachata? Is
It's
it
more
is it what are you doing?
it's more merengue, salsa, just a little bit of everything. Not so much the bachata, but yeah. A lot of the other Latin dances, and as I said, they're like really chévere. So you go to a club and you will not sit down for 2 minutes. It's like go 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 go. Yeah.
No, in terms of the food and so on, fruits. Every all the fruits you get in Jamaica, you're getting them there or not?
Um,
You don't recall.
I do. I wouldn't say that all that you get here. you would get
Right.
better because you're really in a different region. Um, so I'm trying to recall. No, but I think
Mango. You get your mango? Mangoes.
not a whole lot. No, not really.
Oh,
No,
wow.
you don't get your sweet sop. You don't get your June plum. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You
Wow.
get more of an American fruits kind of thing. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the language now, you already sound like you mastered it. Yeah, how was that adjustment for you? Or you're already a Spanish speaker?
I love to tell this story because it exposes my vulnerability. No, I studied Spanish in high school all the way up to university. So, and then I joined the Foreign Service, which is how I came to be in Venezuela. So, I used my Spanish every now and then, and I thought I was okay. And just a week before I was posted to Venezuela, I was actually in New York. I was posted from New York to Venezuela, and I went into a store, one of the little Latin American stores they have in Venezuela, in New York. And the people were speaking, I think it was a Cuban store, and they were going 19 to the dozen in Spanish. And I was like lost. I was like, oh boy, I hope it's not like this in Venezuela because I will not understand a word. Well, a week later, I got on the plane, and you know what happened? When I got on the plane, it was exactly like that. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? But the good thing is everybody's really super patient, and it's just a matter of time, really, and
You use it
you get accustomed to the accent and
right.
you get accustomed to the speed. And before you know it, you're in, and then you get accustomed to the little colloquial words which you didn't learn in your high school Spanish. And so you get used to all the words like chévere, and buenos dias. It's not really buenos dias. It's buenas, and I'm like, what is buenas? And then I realized, oh, it's just a short
It's just a short version.
good morning instead of good morning, in English.
Right.
So it took a little while, but not too long before I was into it, and I was going at the same speed as everybody else. I would say about 6 months to a year. Yeah, yeah, and so much so that the funny thing is that when I got back to Jamaica, my English was much faster. So I
Oh,
got home
wow.
and I was accustomed to speaking at such a fast pace that I spoke English much faster. And people just kept saying to me, why are you speaking so fast? Slow down. So that was funny.
You know what I find doing these discussions and conversations, there are a few people that they're so immersed in the language that at times they're thinking in the language,
Yes, yes,
and they're trying the response is like, I'm using this language every day.
yes.
And so English now becomes my secondary language. And I have to think about the English word I want to say because I'm thinking in this,
Right.
this other language. So I don't know if that kind of got to you at some
It,
point. And
it did. I used to think people were pretentious when they did it. But it actually happens, and actually you feel good when you get to that stage where
right.
you realize that you're thinking in the language, because that's when you've mastered a language. You're really not supposed to think in your native tongue and then translate. I'm also a translator slash interpreter, so I was doing
Ah,
it from the theoretical perspective, but you never quite mastered it until you, or I never quite mastered it until I was immersed
into it. Yeah.
into it. And then I was like, oh, this is what my teachers were always wanting me to do, to think in the language. So just by being there every single day, that's all you're hearing, like 95% of the time. Um,
Right.
After a while, you really start to think in it. They say that you really nailed it when you start dreaming in a foreign
So have
language.
you dreamed?
I don't know because I never ever remember my dreams. but
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 you're right.
definitely,
Immersing yourself. I worked with a company many years ago, and they sent me to Germany, and I was only there a couple 2 weeks, and by the time I was coming back, I'm still saying Dankashe, thank
Yes,
you.
yes, yes,
I'm
yes.
still saying that. Was saying, and I'm like, I'm not in Germany anymore.
I know. It gets under your skin kind of thing. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you get used to it. So back to Venezuela.
Yes.
Now, um, tell us about places that you say, Xavier, if you go there, this is a place you should see. Or it may be a festival. You say there's a festival celebration that happen, maybe Christmas, maybe Easter, maybe at a different time. That is really exciting. It's beautiful. Or maybe, as I said, or maybe a place.
I would say the place, I would say Canaima Falls. It's actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and I think it's the tallest falls in the world, and it is just absolutely breathtaking,
Wow.
exotic. It was quite an adventure to get there. It's been quite a while now, as you know. But I believe we flew to a certain point, and then we had to hike, and the hike was pretty intense because you're going up, right? And we hiked for a couple hours, well, steep,
Wow.
and I was just like, "Wow, nothing is going to be worth this. Can we stop now?" And I have to tell you, Xavier, when we got to the top, that's the first time I understood the meaning of the word breathtaking. It literally takes your breath away. And
Wow.
it's just a sheer drop. It's fantastic. So that I would say is the number one for
Let
me.
me ask you a question about it. How close can you get to the falls, and can you actually, you know, get in there?
You don't get in it unless I think maybe if you do it a different way. But the way we did it, you don't get in it. But yeah, you can get pretty close. Get pretty close to
Okay.
the edge. Yeah, and the
Okay.
sound is, you get to hear the sound and everything. Yeah, yeah.
Any customs you found pretty interesting that, maybe it's the way, again, weddings are done. Maybe it's the way they celebrate a certain holiday. Any customs?
Um. Hmm.
They may not have any. They may not that you could
No,
remember.
they have a lot. Again, I would come back to Christmas. We celebrate Christmas on Christmas Day. They do it on the day before Christmas, as most Latin countries do. So, yeah, there were a number of things that were different, but I somehow straddled in the middle because
Uh, well,
I was
well,
part of a diplomatic community. A lot of us were English speaking or from other cultures. So I
nice.
often did um, a lot of things of the foreigners did. And then there were times when I just, quite fell into the
Well,
Venezuela way of doing things.
so you get to celebrate two holidays. So you have your Venezuelan celebration with, and I don't know what the food may be. Maybe there's something traditional that happens at Christmas. I know, like my Cuban friends and some of my other Latin friends, they take the whole pig and they bury it, and
Oh,
so
yes, I know about that tradition. Yeah. I'm
but you
actually
get to celebrate
remembering
too.
I'm remembering one tradition as you speak. The New Year's Eve, they have a tradition that, at the stroke of midnight, they actually run outside with a suitcase. It doesn't have to be a full suitcase, it can be an empty suitcase. But the symbolism of that is that if I'm outside with my suitcase when the New Year strikes, it means I will travel. So
Oh, that
that
is funny.
tradition, yeah, yeah. That was
Wow.
kind of fun.
Wow. So my big grip, I just have to find a grip
Just
somewhere.
find your dulce. Make sure you're outdoors with your dulce at the stroke of midnight.
So while you were there, let's say you had some downtime, and what did you really enjoy doing during your downtime there?
um, If I could, I traveled around a little bit around the country, but I wasn't often able to do that because I often couldn't move too far from base. So it was mostly hanging with friends, whether with Venezuelans or with, as I said, there were other members of the Deep Core there. We used to hang together pretty much. Went to clubs, went to parties, and just some of the Venezuelans were big on nature, so I enjoyed. Sometimes you just go to the park and hang out, you know.
Nice.
It's also very cultural, so sometimes you'd find you'd go to the youth philharmonic orchestra, that sort of thing. There really was a rich array of experiences and culture for you to enjoy. Yeah. So you
So
didn't really get bored, but I often was just too busy to enjoy as much as I would have wanted to, because there are a lot of places that I would have liked to have traveled to that I never did get the chance to. Yeah.
mm, what did you miss the time you were there? What food, what Jamaican food did you like? If I get off the plane as soon as I land in Jamaica, this is what I'm getting first.
Always made my jerk chicken followed by my curry goat. Always. First stop, a jerk meat. Then of course, the patty have to drop in there somewhere,
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Of course,
Well,
in Venezuela they have the empanada,
right.
which is similar to a patty but not quite the same because it's fried as opposed to our patty, which is baked. Yes.
Yeah.
But we
Well,
make
Janet,
that until.
listen, I appreciate you taking some time to tell us a little bit about your experience in Venezuela. Here is how I typically close out, and you're versed in the language, which is good.
Well, it was. You're
So,
putting me on the spot now, but anyway.
what's the informal way the Venezuelans would say goodbye? Like we say, lick more, or catch up, older people, catch up on a strong.
Ooh, yeah, that's a throwback. Um,
Maybe
wow.
it's adios. I don't
It's
know.
it's
But adios sounds so formal.
very formal. Yeah, I'm thinking it was just ciao. Yeah, it really was.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
which is
Well,
really more Italian, but it's ciao. Yeah,
well, Janet,
and sometimes even bye bye. Yeah, many countries Englishify everything, but
that's
mostly
true.
ciao. Yeah,
So,
or hasta luego, but sometimes you cut it short and it's just hasta. Yeah,
oh, I like that.
yeah.
All right. Well, Janet, thanks again for joining. Hasta.
Hasta. It was my pleasure.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.